Guess he fell from outer space to a world that's out of place. He elevates to concentrate while they hate and contemplate. Bars on wax, that's concentrate. Rejecting us is kinda fake. They're snoozing, but they're kinda late. Out of pocket, can't relate. Lethal like the needles, but the people know you're not awake. I can't see no equals from a zero when I pollinate. My scribbles be like dribbles from the nickels when I'm dropping weight. Loaded like the pistol when it hit you from around the way. Like bang, bang. Freshness from my method got me breathing with ease. Feeling reckless as I'm checking what's been hidden from me. The tension of fees, the missing of keys, uplifting degrees, killing with speech, manifested by the decree. Soon as I spit to fix my lips, I bring that death to the sea. Without the vision, ain't no building what I'm painting to see. Cause as an artist, every target is regarded as cheap. So when I started, never parted, I ain't aiming to please. Jeez, yeah. That shit is crazy, crazy. I hope they ready. I hope so. Yo. Holy temples, golden crystals, steady raising my potential. Ocean riddles, ghosts and sigils, trash cans full of broken pencils. Even though they claim they really are, them boys ain't official. Stripping for the pension, so consistent for the ghost credentials. Lucy made a movie, I'm assuming you some play a part. Stunting for the role without control, following your heart. Once I let it go, it will unfold. You can't contain the art. Mission overload, we crack the code, then hop off the art like art. One more. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. The fake can only replicate. I am solar charged, so with these bars I will not hesitate. I know you've seen the scars, but from now on I'll only decimate. If you can't see the bomb, my nigga, watch until I detonate. Your ears, I'm about to desecrate. Intelligence accelerates the featherweights. My heart's become in and out, of course, since young. Most gon' make it where we're from. She gon' shake it like she dumb to heavy bass and catchy drums. If they want it, let her run, then watch her as she get her some. Watch it. Just watch it.
That they are dropping. You're telling me that they are dropping all this information about the Epstein files, the Skippy videos, the horrible, like unfathomable things that they are forcing into our feed. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it on TikTok, but it's all over the place. Just horrible things, uncensored, just showing them, right? And you're telling me that this isn't a coincidence? Like, at this time, right now, on February 17th, there's a convergence of 7 different calendars, all bringing a heightened experience. So we're talking like the Jewish calendar's got a new moon, the Christian calendar's got Lent, the Muslim calendar's got Ramadan, Chinese New Year, Tibetan New Year, the birthday of the founder of Nichiren Buddhism, and also the Mayan calendar has 13 Comets, which is supposed to be one of the most powerful moments or days of the entire calendar, where energies are heightened and the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm is thinner. Are you telling me that this is not intentional? And then
Shalom to the tribe. Shalom to the vibe. Source from Amma Abba. our creator, Halakha, Ahab, and Tawada for you. And if you're anything like us, if you're anything like we, well then you're surfing a wave and you know how to use these entry points, especially around time like these. Whereas he said the veil is the thinnest, we're using moments like these to access and enter. Because it's about the access and the entering right about now. Then again, this is just for the rare ones, and I hope you are ready to be charged. Shabbat, we are back with another wave for you right here from the Magic Ether Buzz. Let go.
That this is not intentional, and then you couple all of that on the same day with the solar eclipse. Now, not only that, but 4 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later, something like that, on February 20th, there is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, which is the alpha point and the beginning point of the entire zodiac. The last time we were here, humans were hunter-gatherers moving into agriculture. Last time this happened, it was the beginning of...
You know what I'm saying? And we're not talking about hunter and gatherer from the image and the perspective that is constantly crammed into our head, into our perspective. That which is associated with the type of the caveman and sorts. And we're going to be getting to all of that. But nah, we're not talking about hunter-gatherer society on that level, that magnitude, or even from that picture, from that perspective. Again, this is when the veil is of its thinnest, right?
It's not intentional, and then you couple all of the entire calendar where energies are heightened and the veil between the spiritual realm and the physical realm is thinner. Are you telling me that this is not intentional? And then you couple all of that on the same day with the solar eclipse. Now, not only that, but 4 days later, 3 days later, 4 days later, something like that, on February 20th, there is the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, which is the alpha point and the beginning point of the entire zodiac. The last time we were here, humans were hunter-gatherers moving into agriculture. Last time this happened, it was the beginning of civilization. And you're telling me that they're not pumping all of this toxic vibration into the airwaves for a reason. I'm telling you, the reason why they are doing it is to lock the vibration of humanity into a lower consciousness for the next epoch. Think about it. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Right now, focus on being calm and still. Turn off your social media, like from the 17th to the 20th. Don't let them feed you what they're trying to feed you. You could take 3 days off. The world's not going to explode. Nothing's going to go wrong. Like, chill for 3 or 4 days. Center, lock in. Focus on what you want for yourself, for your family, for your children, for the world. Don't focus on what they're trying to feed you. It's a distraction. It's a distraction, and your power. Look, you're a child of the light. We are children of light.
You see what's going on? So when one's in true recognition of who one is, well, we see these distractions from a mile away now. We see it at all kinds of avenues, right? I mean, it's all over the place. But when you're a magnet and when you're focused on what you're trying to bring into your reality, manifest into your reality, align with your reality, because this is all alignment. This is all alignment. So as we're framing and shaping our reality into the existence that we see, or wish to be, well, of course, at a heightened time where such creativity and such connection is at its most pure because, you know, everything is thin.
You want for yourself.
We definitely see why such a distraction is necessary, especially since we're talking about the Naga awakening, the Nagini awakening. It's all across the plane, all across the Wata. I mean, we've been doing this for quite some time. And I remember when we first started out, to be speaking like this on an open platform was the rarity. So to see where everything is happening right now with repetition, with consistency, with purity, with alignment, you know what I'm saying? And what I mean by pure, I just mean never giving up. You staying dedicated to one's purpose, to one's true focus, to one's true purpose. You know what I'm saying? Never giving up. 10 toes down. Steady moving forward. Dodging all hijacks at all costs. Yeah, that way.
For your family, for your children, for the world. Don't focus on what they're trying to feed you. It's a distraction. It's a distraction, and your power. Look, you're a child of the light. We are children of light. We are here to call in the Divine Mother to heal humanity through compassion, cooperation, nonviolence, and love. If you're with me, you believe that food, clean water, shelter, healthcare, and education.
If you've been surfing a wave, you know what I'm saying? You know exactly the vibration that is being spoken. You know what I'm saying? You know the alignment that we are in right about now. If you really been tapping in, if you really been surfing a wave, because this is our lingo. Shalom.
Don't focus on what they're trying to feed you. It's a distraction. It's a distraction, and your power. Look, you're a child of the light. We are children of light. We are here to call in the Divine Mother to heal humanity through compassion, cooperation, nonviolence, and love. If you're with me, you believe that food, clean water, shelter, healthcare, and education are basic human rights. If you are with me, then we believe that Mother Earth is a living, breathing, conscious being, and we are here to protect her and her inhabitants by raising our vibration and ultimately the vibration of all of humanity. We are the legion of the children of light, and we are here to catalyze.
You already said we are the legion of the children of light. You know what I'm saying? They try to kick you with that new testy vibe when they try to spook a naga with the whole legion. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling a rare one myself about this legion and how I had dominion over this legion because I recognized that we had the authority, the same rulership, when in proper alignment as a Khan, as King Shalawam, as Khan Shalawam. And when you're in that vibration where you know you have authority over such demons, you know what I'm saying? So there is no fear in our wave. There's no fear in our way. That is Halakha, and we'll get to it. But you see what's going on. A legion. For we are never alone, Shabbatah.
Clean water, shelter, healthcare, and education are basic human rights. If you are with me, then we believe that Mother Earth is a living, breathing, conscious being, and we are here to protect her and her inhabitants by raising our vibration and ultimately the vibration of all of humanity. We are the legion of the children of light, and we are here to catalyze the force of light, the force of God, the force of divine, higher vibrational beings onto this planet. You know that it's right. Don't focus on the darkness, focus on light. Let's go.
Okay, if you were in a recent car accident, you
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. And that's the whole point. We're just talking Amah, huh? When we're talking this vibe, when we're talking this cosmic dance, because we're in the middle of this cosmic dance, and I'm just doing my 1-2 with you. You know what I'm saying? Because this is for Amah. And if you've been surfing the wave, well, you recognize this is exactly what we've been saying. So it's on to the next. Max power out to you. That is the rare one. See, knowing you're a Cometa to know you were Cometa, a comet. That's to know and to understand that this light is a rarity. This light is a rarity as a cometa, as a comet. And it's in this understanding in this vastness, what they refer to the void, we know as the darkness. One understands that this light, this light is a frequency of energetic expression, of energetic value. For in this vastness that they refer to as the void, the depth, the deep, we know as the darkness, the primordial water. Well, that light is currency. It's not promised. It's not guaranteed. And to be a cometa, well, you got to be able to use your inner power, that which was bestowed upon us naturally, to shine, to radiate, to emit this expression, this light. See, we understand that this light, this radiance, is an expression. And that in this expression, there isn't any guarantee. You know what I'm saying? When you understand you're a cometa, well, you know in such darkness, there's only one way to see. We channel that inner frequency from Hawa. This is our charge, our powwow. And in this charge, we understand that there's freedom, liberation, access, entrance, the way back home. Being a child of such light, bringing this light to such a place of darkness, well, that's the mission. That has always been the divine assignment. Surfing the wave with Aman, surfing the wave within the cosmos. This was her assigned purpose. To shine, to radiate, to beam, to gleam in a place surrounded and drenched in such darkness. Come to be a child of Aman, Abba, to bestow this light. Well, that's the recognition we understand that is rare. And this is just a reminder to those within the man, within the memory, within the flow. This is just your reminder that that light as a rarity is our currency. For Comets, well, they travel these waters no matter where the sun or the moon are. So our source can only be Hawa, can only be Amma, Abba, Max Aha to you as we carry on. Shalom. It's within this recognition, within this charge, within this powwow, you get a quality. And within this quality, well, it is the reason why the rare ones, within this personal vibe, within this personal connection of ours, it's the reason why they continue to view. It's not about the many. Nah, it's about the close-knit. It's about the few. Those that really appreciate, those that really resonate with the way. Because when we're surfing the wave on quality, we're talking about our temperament, our character, our disposition. Quality, we're talking about our nature, our characteristics. Quality, a property, a nature, a state, a condition. What kind of a? We're talking about a degree of goodness or excellence, a social rank, a position, nobility, gentry, a distinguished and characteristic, excellence. We're talking about value. And within every drip, well, we've injected with value. And this value, well, is specifically for the natural one. Beautiful vibes for a beautiful tribe. So it doesn't matter about the numbers. What matters is the engagement, the energetic expression, exchange, the acknowledgement, the respect, the appreciation of this quality. Because we're talking about that which is of nature. And within nature, well, we understand, if you've been keeping up with our presentations, we're only talking about the powwow directly from our framer and shaper, the author. Powers, powwow of the body. And within this quality, well, we inject our quality with much substance. Substance that is tailor-made and divinely crafted just for you. For you are the chosen. natural Bahawa. Substance being the divine part or essence. The divine part or essence. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about that which exists by itself. Essential. Nature. You see this? Nature. A type or kind of thing. Real or essential part, like soul, like spirit, like charge, like frequency, like vibration. We're talking about the being, the essence, material. From up to and under. That which is the being, the essence, the material. Very fabric to stand firm, to make firm, Shabata, the nature, the powwow. That which is one's own, one's substance, essence, originality, or property, the being, the essence, or nature of anything. Any kind of corporeal matter. The substance. We're talking about your origin. So we drip our quality with this substance. And it's within this substance where we make our engagement, our impact. And our impact, well, that is the building elements, the substance, the quality that enriches our connection. Come as we continue to surf the wave. Because when we're talking about the wave, well, it's important to know that Halakha is the wave. And it was actually surfing the wave in the Wata, building my perspective on what it was and what it meant to be within the flow. Well, I came across and uncovered this Halakha. So surfing the wave on Halakha, well, I need you to see that Halakha is a genre of Israelite legal writing. We're going to say Israelite legal writing because we already understand that Jew and to be Jewish is just of one particular flow. This Halakha is for every spectrum, every ray, every color within the covenant, the chosen. So we're gonna surf the wave in this Israelite flow, the chosen, the natural Bahawa. So Halakha is a genre of the Israelite legal writing rooted in the Torah. Alright? And we can dodge our own hijack with this Midrash and this Talmud. With that being said, the many works of the Israelite law offer legal guidance regarding ritual observances, business practice, damages, personal status, and much more. So this Halakha surfs the wave on all of these things. As novel questions arise, Israelite legal thinkers look for precedents to determine the law. Because we know these and those of the Jewish frequency are of this hijack.
vibration. So they're looking to see what determines the law of this Halakha, which is the way. It says why halakhic texts are prescriptive. They also are gateways into an ancient ethical and philosophical system, the means of realizing Hawa's will. Halakhic works take the form of topical studies, codes that serve as handbooks, commentaries, or essays on a specific topic. So noted that this is rooted in the Torah, which is the law. We see how Halakha is the way of the wave, which is the law, the code. And I just needed for your attention to grasp that we're only building within the foundation, as foundational natural ones. We're talking about the way. And since the way is rooted as we see in the Torah, where we can dodge our hijack at all costs. Because we're talking about this natural Bahawa, the chosen one's law. What is this Halakha? It says how the natural by law, the Israelite law, is made. Halakha refers to the Israelites' law per its literal translation, the way, which is guides the day-to-day life of a chosen one. Alright? So when we're dodging the hijack of this Talmud input, because we see they like to bring their confusion. It says eventually these halakhic rulings were further refined and consolidated in the Shulchan. You see that? You see what's going on? You peep the drip. Shulchan. So they know we are Khans. Within the Shulchan Aruch, the code of the Israelite law. Studying this work and its commentaries is known as learning Halakha, as opposed to learning the Talmud and other more theoretical commentaries. Alright, so learning Halakha from the Shulchan Aruch. Learning Halakha as opposed to learning the Talmud. So this is in opposition to learning Talmud. And this is why, like a parasite, like a flea, like a tick, like a leech, the hijack, the seed of these archons, the experimentations of these archons have to leech their way onto everything. But as we'll see, it says another important source of halakhic rulings are the Teshavot, responsa authored by great Torah scholars in response to inquiries from individuals and communities of their era. As circumstances continue to evolve, it is the task of the halakhic scholars to determine how the Halakha relates to new questions and situations. An authoritative halakhic ruling is known as a Pesach Halakha, and a highly regarded learned We're gonna dodge the hijack on that, right? We're gonna say Khan, Levite, a highly regarded, learned Levite who is trusted to make these decisions is known as a possess or poskim in plural. It says it is important to note that the poskim do not create Halakha, nor are they authorized to change Halakha as they see fit. So we see these Talmudic rabbis, not only did they did not create this Halakha, but they are not even authorized to change it as they see fit. All right. Rather, they are guardians of a body of sacred traditions which they humbly and cautiously convey. At the same time, there is no question that a degree of subjective perspective and even creativity is involved in determining halakha. So again, we're just talking about the way, the wata, the recognition that is in our day-to-day flow. This is a natural law for the natural ones as khans. This is opposed to the Talmud because its roots is in the Torah. Khan, we got it. Rooted in the Torah. So being that we have this halakha rooted within the law, within the flow, within the way, because this halakha as the way is related to the way. Because when we're surfing the wave on this halakha, as we're talking about this encompassing civil, criminal, and so-called religious law, it is to help one be in alignment in which they should behave, to one's true development, one's true anion, which is rise. The root of the Hebrew term used to refer to the Israelite law, halakha, means go or walk. Halakha then is the way. For an Israelite, a natural one, a rare one, a chosen one, is directed to behave in every aspect of life, encompassing civil, criminal, and so-called religious law. Because when we're talking about the hijack of this term religious, we're just talking about the natural ways, the way, the flow within the way. It says the foundation of Judaism is the Torah, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, sometimes referred to as the first 5 books of Moses, the Torah, which means instruction or teaching. And like all teaching, it requires interpretation and application. Israelite tradition teaches that Moshe, received the Torah from Hawa at Mount Sinai. The Torah is replete with instructions, directives, statutes, laws, and rules. Most are directed to the Israelites. You see what's going on? It just unhappens, right? It just unfolds. We were surfing the wave in Israelite this whole time. But in real time, we see clearly. It says are directed to the Israelites, some to all humanity. All right. And those are those in alignment within the flow. It says the words of the Torah constitute what the Levitical tradition calls the written Torah. However, beginning around 400 BCE, teachings emerged based in or connected to the Torah, but not literally evident in text. This body of teaching is known as the Oral Torah, and Levitical sources claim that it too was revealed at Sinai. Halakha per se begins with this oral Torah. And again, this is in alignment with our oral traditions. So as we surf the wave in our own oral traditions, in our indigenous flow, well, some laws in the Torah required procedures for their observance that were not explicit. Some conditions under which Israelites were living were so different from earlier periods that the ancient Levites simply enacted new rules in keeping with the laws of the Torah. This process of developing, interpreting, modifying, and enacting rules of conduct is how Halakha develops. And this is according to them, right? Sort the way. It says these is hijacks, alright? It says that they developed a system of hermeneutic principles by which to interpret the words of the written Torah. So they attach this hijack scheme through Hermes, right? Now let's let's see. Trying to make sure. Calm. So with them trying to connect their ideology and what will be their process of understanding, we already know this is outside the frequency of Hawa, because you wouldn't need Hermes to decipher such a thing. So it says this system collapsed with the onset of modernity in the 18th century, particularly in Western Europe. It says that these rabbis, these hijacks, emerged who wanted to reform Judaism. They rejected both some of the teachings and the authority of earlier Levites in the many matters of Halakha. It says today, spiritual descendants of both traditionalists and reformers interpret the Israelite law according to their respective principles for their communities. Many so-called Jews reject the notion of Jewish law as binding, regarding Halakha as spiritual guidance for Jewish living, and we will see why. It says the approach to Halakha is the central factor differentiating Jewish or Israelite religious movements today. Secular Israeli. So you see how they're very interchangeable. Okay? So, seeing clearly through the fold, observing the wave in pure form, we see that they don't have the authority nor the understanding to change Halakha from its ancient tradition. So when we're talking about the way, when we're talking about the flow, this wata, as it relates to water, because we're talking about a way of being and instruction, a way of life. Well, that coincides with the code. And as we got the code being a systematic compilation of law, system of law, the law book. All right, earlier being book, literally a tree trunk, surfing the waves with our connection to the trees, which leaves us to be separate as we cleave onto Hawaii. Just like our ancient script says, to cleave on to Hawaii, as we are separate from those in the nations that do not. That being related to this Kodah and a natural connection to being the tail. So we know this is how we close and separate and cut off these unnatural systems that have us subject to their fictitious laws. And it is within this code, within this way, well, it gives us our version, our form of politics. Politics being the science and art of government, the political state of a country or government, politics, whether or not one keeps the code or does. This is how views and factions are created. Parties, associations, vibrations, frequencies. All politics are backed by frequencies, vibrations, resonations. And it's within this resonation you have to align with those that are within your frequency, your coding, your spiral, your wave, which is the wave. When we're talking about this substance, when we're talking about this quality, this character, the nature, the conditioning, what kind of code are you keeping? What law are you aligned with? This is what forms politics. And it is through politics, the affairs of the state, that all wars have been fought in and under and over. To simply politic, to simply politic as a frequency commonly used amongst the indigenous in this land, in this frequency known as Khalifa, California. Politics. We have this understanding that politics are a lot more than political parties such as Democrats and Republicans. And it's within these areas, within these frequencies, this spectrum. Well, the politics maintain and dictate a lot of how we conduct our culture, our society today. For those that are at the top, the so-called referred to elite, they run their politics one wave, one frequency. And then you have those that's referred to as the underworld, the dark, the bottom, the prison systems. And then they have their politics and how they run things, their frequency. And then you have the so-called gray area, the merging, the in-between, which is the streets, whether you're a civilian, a so-called gangster, a so-called member. This is how politics trickle through and in and out the way. So depending on your perspective, depending on how your vision aligns with your frequency, this dictates your politics, which is the science and art of government. The art, the science, the developing, the evolution, the oppression or progression, depending on your perspective. So we're gonna see just how such politics, depending on your perspective, depending on your view, your vision, affects the way you see the world. Because we're talking about wars, mind you. Wars are always fought around politics. So aggression to be attached to politics, especially as this relates to our natural native frequency and so-called Khalifa, we see what's being displayed of our politics. We see how one say and have their opinion and their judgment on how our politics are ran from an indigenous point of view, whether sleep or not. Yet politics in general, in its entirety, well, has its influence in all of these things. God is within all of these things. As we'll see, that each individual has their own expression, their own take. They have their own resonance, their own perspective. And sometimes these perspectives come with a clash. It's politics. It's natural. Except when, it's not seen in this vision, in this light, in this alignment, things can get pretty judgmental, as we'll see. So let's surf the wave. Max Aha to the rare ones. Halakha.
Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely.
I have a favor.
I'm not doing favors today.
Okay. That sounds not reasonable. This is a family neighborhood.
It sure is, and I certainly care about some of our young Spanish neighbors who might be stolen, so if you want to have that conversation, I work with kids. It's all about child-appropriate language. That's my right to free speech, and I'm not moving it.
Okay. So literally not change your sign, fuck ICE.
Nope.
When there's children.
Nope. Your comfort does not matter as much as my freedom.
Now I find it funny that she's saying your comfort doesn't matter as much as my freedom. Now you hear this expression within this freedom, right? And yet she's saying from a position of comfort, from a position politically provided by way of war, passed down ancestrally. Some can even argue racially, right? From a place of comfort, telling someone else that their comfort isn't more important than their freedom. Keep in mind, we're just surfing the wave on politics.
If black children have to hear about police brutality, white children can have that conversation. If they can read, they can have an appropriate conversation about that. I know you don't. You're being liberal fascist right now, and I don't care.
Guess what? You can deliver your message however you
I sure can, and I'm gonna.
I've noticed.
Uh-huh.
It's disgusting because this is a family neighborhood and you've got a big sign that says fuck that.
I sure do. Call the police about it. Call the police about it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
What color do you think my skin is?
I don't care what color your skin is. My freedom of speech matters no matter what color you are. You're bringing identity politics.
Now, if we're looking at two aspects of the grandeur of illusion, right? Like this is crazy. She puts into perspective, what color do you think that I am? Because she's throwing at her, hey, look at me. We're the same. And this is what we need to get and understand, right? I mean, we have this saying, not all skin folk are kinfolk, and not all kinfolk are confolk, huh? And that's a natural fact. So when people are generally speaking and they're getting into this we talk just from an external point of view, from that which is on the outside, well, it's easy to see that that's a form of programming, because if we're talking about politics and that which is a matter of what code you keep, which wave you're surfing, which way you're resonating in, what you're truly aligned with in quality and substance, well, how you look on the exterior has nothing to do with your radiance and vibration internally. And that vibration can emanate and display a lot more than what you look like on the outside. It's all about what's on the inside, huh? And this is for the rare ones. But I do find it funny that from a place of comfort, the one recording the video is displaying her comfort onto this person, and then this person is throwing a fit because of the sign having the term or the F-bomb in it, and that her children is sitting up here, I guess, able to see, and she's trying to use that as a deflection, as a projection, as to why she's offended by the sign. It's pretty intense. And it's hilarious, right? Let's continue.
I don't care. I don't care. You are now illegally blocking traffic. Have a great day, neighbor. I'm not changing the sign. Request denied. Authoritarian fascist, request denied. Here we go. Just getting this legal detail here. Certainly she did. If you want to see it, come here. I'll give you the link. At 7. If you could, yeah, here, and then up on the corner if you see us, okay? Cool. Yeah, tell some people, keep it off the social medias for now. Got it. Absolutely. What's your... I think I did get your name before. Yeah, Jack, yes. I'm meeting so many people. You know me. Absolutely, sweetheart. Thank you. Are you a new neighbor?
I am actually in the neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to say, I totally believe...
I would not bring the comfort language here. That word needs to be there, and it will stay there.
Shouldn't be there.
It's going to stay there. What you're...
So see, she goes right back to this comfort language. And keep in mind, she's a creature of comfort. Again, this is from an indigenous perspective. We've been building in this indigenous vibe the whole time. So as a creature of comfort, it's ironic how she's highlighting the comfort language. But again, this is politics. And the fact that she's creating this response out of people and that people are engaging in this fashion and in this manner with this energy isn't seen as we can see by the interaction and engagement where anything's wrong. It can get taken to a level, right? But because this is from a particular community, it's considered and deemed normal. Mind you, politics is politics. And things happen according to those politics and the way those politics are ran and who run them.
Speaking is authoritarian language right now. Would you like to burn my book?
No.
I can get you a lighter. You can burn my book if you
I
like.
just want to say I have a 5 and a 10.
Fantastic. If they're learning to read, it's time to talk to them about that. Seek a child development psychologist. That language can be spoken to children. You can explain that.
Now, wow, I don't agree with outrightly and purposefully speaking to children using profanity. I highly see that as degradation to their intellectual capability and emotional intelligence. It's a handicap for sure. You know, if it does occur, I think that explanation how, you know, someone of youth shouldn't be speaking in such a frequency vibration, but to purposefully go out your way to speak to a child in that manner, in that fashion, in that vibration, I completely disagree with. And again, this is from a comfort level, right? The same comfort she's antagonizing, she's also speaking from. And this is what I mean by entitlement. And this is what I mean by creatures of comfort. But again, we're going to, continue to search the way.
Children in child development language. Why are you seeking parental advice from me, honey? I'm a woman on the street. Seek a therapist for that, okay? It's time for them to learn it. Put them in blinders or a bubble if you don't want them to experience the world. Thank you for stopping.
Wow. Now you just know the mentality that she's in, right? Oh man. And you can see the so-called lack of respect. But I get the intention of her message. You know what I mean? I get it. But you can see how it's crazy how things can be. And when there isn't a code to be kept within this political realm, well, this is how things happen, right? And this is what we'll continue to dive into when we're talking about moral compass, when we're talking about quality and substance, the ingredients that go into a particular flow that separates us as we cleave back onto Hawa. Let's go.
Stopping by, neighbor. Bye-bye. Love you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, honey?
Well, what are you doing?
Anti-fascist protest?
What, ICE?
Yeah, fuck ICE. They're kidnapping people like Nazis.
Well, the people are illegal, though.
There's no illegal people on stolen land, honey. Who told you?
There's no illegal people on stolen land. Now they're going to continue to push that, right? They're going to continue to push that. But even in that very statement, and the fact that she's talking about stolen land, when literally she comes from a bloodline and ancestral flow that stole the land. You got to hear the double talk. You got to hear the hypocrisy. You also have to observe the perspective and the flow. And mind you, this is coming from people that look just supposedly like her. You know what I'm saying? Peep the flow, surf the wave.
White people? White people are immigrants here too, baby. We're just all anchor babies, honey.
Yeah. Wait, well, I just don't get why you're not, like, working an actual job. And, like,
You think I'm not working? That's very funny, honey. You can make assumptions if you want.
Well, it's like all my Mexican buddies fucking support ICE because they got here legally and they're fucking working their asses off.
Well, they're stealing legal.
I mean, and you got different sides to this coin. You know, you got different sides to this coin. Either way, when we're talking about this exactly, the same so-called government that allows her to express herself is the same government that is responsible for the theft of this so-called stolen land. And her being a so-called participant and actually someone who would be proud in her political stance. Well, how do you think she actually truly feels about the indigenous ones, especially her being so-called so political? And this goes for both sides of the fence, whether you feel how they feel about ICE or you feel the way she does. Surf the wave.
People too, honey. They're gonna take away legal citizenship. So you might want to tell them that. I'm gonna get back to my book, but you have a great day, honey.
And people were literally triggered. People are literally triggered by the fact that, you know, her sign says F ICE. Like they're really tripping off that. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta really see the way, you know, things and times are changing right before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that what she's saying is anything positive or in a positive light, but this internal back and forth taking place through a political regime, point of view, frequency. You got to know how to identify the signs of the times. We're just raising the vibe of Ahmad. Let's go.
From break of dawn until the sun was high, many young men of 20 said goodbye. Hey neighbor, how are you? Hold on, let me come talk to you. Ah. Oh my goodness, I hear that. What do you do?
You ever have a job? Oh, never. Have you? I'm just curious. I'm being polite.
Be curious. I love that. Curiosity is nature.
Maybe. So no ICE, which I'm kind of. I have an illegal.
There's no illegal people on stolen land.
I have an undocumented gardener and an undocumented housekeeper who I love.
You should take up a gathering of money for them. They're probably struggling.
Oh, honey, I have more than enough money to take care of them.
Now, it's very interesting that she proposes that, right? And anyone that might align in that sort of pitch, right? That sales pitch, that ideal pitch. How many of these people with this level of comfort of expression are actually willing to give up the actual land that they're sitting on entirely? Because it's on the way. This uprooting is on the way. This is what this whole infighting is all about. It's on the way. They know it. They feel it. Their feet are in the fire. It's on the way. We're talking about Halakha, the way.
The last housekeeper, I gave her $5,000 so she could go back to Guatemala and have her knee replaced.
That's good. That's really nice of you.
Well, it's generous, and it's really the way it ought to be.
Isn't it?
Instead of having the government do it.
You know, I think that we should have socialism. I think that health is a human right. I think that water and food should be a human right. I think that paying for everything, we have enough of everything at this point. I think that we've done it this way for long enough.
Do you think it has some... have you read anything about the Great Leap Forward in China in 1950 or the Cultural Revolution in 1960?
I've learned a lot about a lot of different nations, but
tell me what you know about that.
Right now I'm not here to educate or to learn from you.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Then what are you here for?
This is called a protest. You should learn what it is.
Well, that's why I stopped, because I saw your sign. I thought...
Well, we welcome you. You're one of our neighbors, and you're in the neighborhood. Thank you for stopping by.
Well, what if you're not educating them?
Oh, I'm not educating you.
Why?
Because I said.
Huh. Well, then what's your hope?
I have many hopes and dreams. I don't think I'm sharing them with you today, though. A lot of my hopes and dreams are right there on the ground.
Well, okay, I tried.
I don't know what you tried, but I'm glad you tried today.
Well, I just tried to understand. I mean, I might come from a different viewpoint, but honestly,
So you see, he said immediately, I might come from a different viewpoint. And again, this is what politics are shaped and framed around, right? Viewpoints and resonances. We're talking about different tunes. This is no different than what music sounds good and what sounds displeasant, right? We're talking flow, frequency, alignment, and depending on your level of emotional intelligence, your reasoning, your rationality, or lack of rationality, well, these views, these perspectives often leads to crashing, to a type of clash, which then spills into battle as we're hearing and seeing. Always dodge your own hijack at all costs. Never mind the distractions.
to some extent, I don't understand what's going on.
Well, you know what? Understanding is your journey, and I wish you good luck with that.
Well, why wouldn't you help me?
I don't want to help you
Why?
because that's my boundary.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, okay. You have a great day, neighbor. Keep it up. Stay curious.
Say what?
Thank you.
We're going to continue to surf the wave. Max Shalom. So when we're talking about so-called politics and political views, well, many of these views, many of these perspectives go completely undiscussed, go completely unacknowledged, right? And there technically is no observation underlining the true force, the true root, the true element within almost all politics, at least as the modern world is concerned. And we're going to get into that right about now. Aha to the rare ones.
People who have higher melanin, let's say Africans or Indians also to some extent, South Americans, would they be more closer to the divine or have that divine connect?
Yeah. So melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that. But on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light. So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in
All right. We're going to get that back, but keep in mind, I wanted to bring to your attention how we started this. Being children of light, recognizing and understanding this light. We're surfing away from previous drip, previous presentations, right? Where we're recognizing and aligning what it is to be indigenous. That recognition alone tying us into the land, which we understood made us rich in melanin. So they're breaking down not just on the physical aspect, but on literally a spiritual side. You're surfing the wave. You know what happened last night. Or one would say yesterday morning. You know what I'm saying? Maybe by the time you're getting this. But we're talking about another blood moon. And with the spiritual realm being extremely thin at this time, well, we're talking about an integration, access, and entering of new dimensions, new connections, new possibilities, new opportunities. But for those who are aligned with the flow, with the vision to glow, for we know light is rarity.
People who have higher melanin, let's say Africans or Indians also to some extent, South Americans, would they be more closer to the divine or have that divine connect?
Yeah. So melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that. But on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light. So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in Africa, all over the world, really, in Native America, right? And all over the world, these indigenous cultures have been.
Notice how there was no distinction. All of these different collectives are regarded and identified as being indigenous. And this is the point. To come from the land, to be of the land. to be within the flow. When we see this in its true proper frequency, indigenous, in the alignment to the land, having that connection with the natural powwow that is nature, the force, the source. This is what we're highlighting. Let's go.
Systematically on purpose persecuted. Not only through the melanin and their ability to hold light, they were guardians of certain lands. It's what's underneath the land. So a lot of people think like, oh, the war for Iraq is for oil, but it's not just for oil. That's what they tell you on the news. Underneath the earth, there's very important portals, and whoever controls these portals controls the energy that flows in and out of Mother Earth. Some people call them stargates. So these indigenous were protectors. They had melanin, they were able to hold the light, and they had specific codes which were protectors of certain lands. But that's why, if you want to say Columbus and all these other, the history books will tell you one thing, but no, they were really coming to like take the land of the indigenous and to take the protectors of the land out of the land.
All right, we're talking about indigenous peoples. We know about the dogheads, Christopher Colombo, all right, and those of that alignment. We're talking about the tribes of Esau integrating with those of the Canaanite flow, mixing back in with the Israelite flow, spinning back off into some Cometian flow. We know the melting pot has always been that the goal point, the field goal, the touchdown for the hidden hand. This is an indigenous frequency war. Let's get that back.
People who have higher melanin, let's say Africans or Indians also to some extent, South Americans, would they be more closer to the divine or have that divine connect?
Yeah. So melanin on the physical plane, sure, they taught us that it helps with pigment and skin pigment and things like that. But on a spiritual plane, it can hold light. It can hold light. So the more melanin you have, the more light you can hold and the more power you have. And so that's why a lot of these indigenous nations, okay, in Africa, all over the world, really, in Native America, right? And all over the world, these indigenous cultures have been systematically on purpose persecuted. Not only through the melanin and their ability to hold light, they were guardians of certain lands. It's what's
So they were persecuted. And see, this is my point. This was the intention behind the politics, behind the hidden hand, behind this worldwide colonialization. All right, this was the intent. So without addressing this very topic when it refers to politics, well, it's all for naught if this isn't the case. Because then you're just speaking as a benefactor from a stance that is fictitious. And this paradigm was created not only in an error, but in lies. That would never, ever, ever, ever be a natural fact. And we as natural Baha'u'llah, well, all we want are the natural facts.
Underneath the land. So a lot of people think like, oh, the war for Iraq is for oil, but it's not just for oil. That's what they tell you on the news. Underneath the earth, there's very important portals, and whoever controls these portals controls the energy that flows in and out of Mother Earth. Some people call them stargates. So these indigenous were protectors. They had melanin, they were able to hold the light, and they had specific codes which were protectors of certain lands.
Specific codes which were protectors of certain lands. So I ask you again, even though that lady was speaking from the comfort of her political expression, is she willing to give up the very land that she walks and sits on? Because she is not indigenous to it. None of them are.
But that's why, if you want to say Columbus and all these other, the history books will tell you one thing, but no, they were really coming to like take the land of the indigenous and to take the protectors of the land out of the land.
People who...
And with that said, we shall carry on. So, while I was in the water surfing the wave on so said politics, will lead me to ask and wonder if these political structures are based off the codes one may or may not keep. Would this make Hawa political or even tribal? And I remember there was a time I would ask us a question and I would get so many different perspectives from different sources, different links. But these days, surfing the wave, everything, literally everything is just AI generated. So much of everything is AI generated. That's another topic for another day. But I came across this term, monotheism. And this term means or meant primitive monotheism. And it expresses the hypothesis of monotheistic religion or religion, from which polytheistic religions allegedly degenerated from. It says this evolutionary view of so-called religious developments contrasts diametrically with another evolutionary view on the development of so-called religious thought. The hypothesis that so-called religion progressed from simple forms to complex, first pre-animism, then animism, totemism, and then polytheism, and then finally monotheism. It says in 1898, Scottish anthropologist Andrew Lang proposed the idea of a supreme being. The high God or all-father existed among some of the most simplest of contemporary tribal societies prior to their contact with Western peoples, and that the monotheism, which is the primitive monotheism, was the original so-called religion of humankind. Now this is very interesting because I was surfing the wave on this politics, and I'm in the way, Halakha. And just much like the Halakha, how these rabbis were trying to change, they were not authorized nor given the authority to do so. For Halakha and learning the way of Halakha is opposed to learning the Talmud or other commentaries. They did not create the Halakha, nor are they authorized to change as they see fit. So we're talking about an ancient and original view, lifestyle, natural by Hawa perspective on this so-called monotheism. It says this concept of primeval monotheistic so-called religion has parallels in the works of the early Christian theologian Tertullian and rabbinic literature. So you see, we're right back to these guys. It says Prussian linguist and Roman Catholic priest Wilhelm Schmidt defended the hypothesis of monotheism in his work. All right, The Origin of the Idea of God, published 1912 to 1955, opposing the revolutionary monotheism approach that traces the emergence of monotheistic thought as a gradual process spanning the Bronze and Iron Age, so-called religions of the ancient Near East and classical antiquity. And go surf the wave on our presentation of the Bronze Age to get a more in-depth breakdown on what's being said right about now. It says, according to Smith, alleged traces of primitive monotheism appear in the Assyrio-Babylonian deities Ashur and Marduk, and in the ancient Hebrew god when you dodging all hijacks, Con. Smith views monotheism as the natural form of theism. You see what's going on? As the natural form of theism, which was later overlaid and degraded by polytheism after the deceased ancestors became objects of worship and primitive human societies and personified natural forces became worshipped as well as divine beings. So with these interferences with these middle men and women and spirits of the sort came this distortion of the true connection from our Hawa. For we're talking about the natural form. The natural form. And when we're talking about primitive, we're talking about the prime, the origin, the original, the indigenous, the aboriginal, the autochthon, Khan, the ancient ones, those natural Bahua. It says a significant part of the work of Italian anthropologist and historian of religion Raphael Patazzoni from 1888 to 1959 on the study of ancient religions concentrated on refuting the speculative theory of primordial monotheism, which is the monotheismus, previously developed by Smith, and on the study of conceptions of the supreme being in so-called prime religions. It says Smith believed that evidence of monotheism existed in tribal societies and argued that all human societies recognize the supreme being as a non-exclusive spiritual entity which is paramount and also opposed by other spiritual entities. Patazzoni challenged Smith's concept of a supreme being as necessarily entailing monotheism. Rather, Patazzoni writes that monotheism is a recent religious development over the course of a slow revolution in polytheism and perhaps henotheism. In the Hebrew Bible, this debate is carried on by the narratives about the Old Testament prophets who wrangle with the Canaanite gods. Such scenarios serve to reaffirm both ethical monotheism of the Israelites in opposition to the Canaanite religion and their beliefs in one exclusive transcendent deity coexisting with lesser divine beings. So we see right here in the difference that when we're talking about tribal Israel, there's a separation between the attachment, that of which the Canaanite so-called religion has. And a lot of this gets swooped up into one extreme topic when it is not. For we just got in our last presentation that the Canaanites immigrated immigrated into a land that was not theirs. So this topic of ice has always been an occurring theme. So just like the Halakha, we see that the hijack is constantly trying to attach oneself with the flow of the ancient. It says Smith's hypothesis was controversially discussed during much of the first half of the 20th century. In the 1930s, Smith adduced evidence from so-called Native American religion, you see what's going on, and mythology, Australian Aboriginal religion and mythology, and other prime civilizations in support of his views. He also responded to his critics. For instance, he rejected Patazzoni's claim that the sky gods were merely a dim personification or an embodiment of a physical sky. Writing in the origin and growth of religion, the outlines of the supreme being become dim only among later peoples. Smith added that a being who lives in the sky, who stands behind a celestial phenomenon, who must centralize in himself the various manifestations of thunder, rain, etc., is not a personification of the sky at all. Khan. That is a congruent flow. That is a congruent flow. Because one would know that the ancient ones resonate with such thing. That we're talking about source of force, hidden, the hidden one. It says Smith claimed that Patazzoni fails to study Smith's work seriously and often relies on incorrect translations of Smith's German. Brandwee also says Patazzoni's definition of prime ethical monotheism is an arbitrary straw man argument, but he says Smith went too far when he claimed that such ethical monotheism was the earliest religious idea. And we're going to surf the wave on such things as we continue. Says, according to Patazzoni's analysis, Smith confused science with theology. As Patazzoni writes in the booklet The Supreme Being in Prime Religions, for Patazzoni, the idea of a god in prime religions is not a priori concept independent of historical context. There is only the historical context which arises from varying existential conditions within each type of human society. It is only within that societal context that the idea of God can satisfy, hence the supreme being does not exist a priori. Therefore, one finds that the supreme being defined variously as the one who sends the rain, as the protector of the hunt, or even as a life giver associated with the soil and harvest in agrarian societies, unique historical contexts that each give rise to their own particular conception of a supreme being. Patazzoni argues that religion must be conceived first and foremost as a historical product conditioned by historical, cultural, and social contexts with unique influence in other social and cultural realities within the same human society that produced it. And that is not a natural fact. In fact, that is only from recorded perspective, which makes historical products always a matter of one's perspective. You know, having historical literacy and, recordings of such is only important as much as they allow and approve. If it's not allowed into that societal, paradigm, alumni, so to speak, it won't get pushed. It won't be published or accessible to the public. So to say one's recognition, especially when it comes to the ancient, didn't have this similar understanding of such a supreme being, of such a high vibration, is not a natural fact. It says by the 1950s, the academic establishment had rejected the hypothesis of the prime ethical monotheism, but not per se other proposed versions of the monotheismus. And the proponents of Schmidt's Vienna school rephrased his ideas to the effect that while ancient cultures may not have known true monotheism, they at least show evidence of original theism, theismus, as opposed to non-theistic animism, with a concept of high God as opposed to a single God. In effect, henotheism, which acknowledged the supreme being, but also various lesser gods. Christian apologetics in the light of this have moved away from postulating a memory of revelation in pre-Christian religions, replacing it with an inkling of redemption or virtuous paganism, unconsciously anticipating monotheism. Alright, and that's interesting to say, because both a so-called recognition of a high God and single God can happen at the same time. Depending on one's location, a tribe's location, their acceptance and awareness, perspective, recognition of a high entity, a high force, a creator, can be that which anyone could recognize as long as they're within that flow and being the source, the creator, our Hawa, the breath that moves throughout all living things, can also be the single entity. It'll be single for one's individual recognition, yet still accessible in the perception and understanding of its high vibration. This being achieved through frequency. So I thought that this was very interesting. This monotheismus, as we're talking about a prime monotheism. We're going to surf the wave in this flow as it relates to another term, Halakha. When you're within the flow and the charge of the current, that is the stream from our source, our alignment, our framer and shaper, when you're within the wave of this personal close-knit connection as a rare one, natural by Hawa, what we understand within our Dabar, which is the word, our lingo. We understand and recognize the Great Spirit from many different tribes, from many different walks and reflections of Wata, which is the wave, the spectrum. We independently and collectively recognize the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit, the Wankam Tanka, the Geechee Montu of Native American cultures, is a beautiful example of a non-theistic belief and an active, personal, non-anthropomorphic deity that is intertwined with the fabric of the cosmos itself on the large scale and yet is personally engaged with the web of living things and the world on an earthly scale. These cultures are not completely homogeneous, and they are a variety of creation, and there are a variety of creation mythologies that need not concern us, as in the opinion of this writer at least. These cultures have always been aware that their mythologies are myths, that their legends are legends, that their sacred stories are stories, and thus they have avoided the curse of socially enforced orthodoxy or any sort of insistence on belief. So these people, although indigenous, not collectively being exactly the same, all have their way, their halakha, right? Because they dodged the hijack of the curse of socially enforced orthodoxy, that which is constantly being crammed onto us, especially through social media. They're not persuaded by belief. This is a connection, an awareness, a frequency, a vibration, an alignment. And even in the writing of this article, you can tell that the writer is specifically trying to move this away from being fact. But this is about resonance. This is for the rare ones. It says the myths themselves are intended and used as teaching stories that guide individual behavior. Again, the way. See, in ways, halakha, that support the individual and the community, not as metaphysical speculation. These natural ways of living also seem to lack the hellfire and damnation mean. The Great Spirit does not punish people for being bad, doesn't inflict internal torment on people for not believing in it. In these cultures, a life out of balance with the Great Spirit, with Earth, with the community, is its own punishment. That is a natural fact. Because to be outside that connection without that awareness of Hawa, to be outside that of nature, is its own punishment, is its own curse, is its own chaotic bubble. That is a loop. It is easy to over-romanticize these natural ways of living, and therefore important to remember that however successful they might have been within a community, pre-Columbian, natural American, tribal, Stone Age cultures were many and were in more or less perpetual competition. So again, we're talking about politics and how we politic. Well, that led to our competition within the science and the art of this governing. It was about the affairs of state, the code, the law, the resonance of the tree, the trunk, that which is the cleaving on to the Great Spirit, to the breath, to the charge, to the framer and shaper. Halahuwa. For the Wata is the wave, and the wave is the way. For the law is the way to walk, and the way to go. For this was the instruction or the teaching for those of the light, those of the mission. It says life was very close to the state of nature. You see what's going on? Life was very close to the state of nature. Life was very close to the state of nature, and aspects of it were ugly, nasty, brutish, and short. Tribal wars were nearly ubiquitous and were very nearly ritualized. Torturing captives to death and ritual cannibalism when you dodging all hijacks were commonplace. Because each tribe had a personal tribal vision of Hawa, Hawa naturally approved of all of these actions and indeed would sometimes help the tribe against their enemies. Sound familiar? Life was filled with suffering as well as joy, and this intense mixture was the gift of the Great Spirit. In post-Columbian times, the very process of romanticizing has, I suspect, injected means of non-tribal universalism into these tribal natural ways of living, as what was a narrow and insular tribe has been submerged into the tribe of all mankind. And that is a natural fact. What was once personal has been romanticized and universalized. But this cosmic flow was specific and tailored to the signals of your soul, Shabbatai. Because this is specifically just for you, as those natural Bahuah. The concept of the Great Spirit as a somewhat nostalgic deity survives, but at this point, tribal war, ritual, torture, dodging all hijack, and all negative intertribal conflicts have faded. That's a hijack that never truly existed in pure illumination. And this is why you gotta be pure surfing the wave. Okay. So is the concept of the Great Spirit compatible with the theorem above? If one takes the mythology literally, no. If one takes the actual spiritual practice, the personal view, you see what's going on? We cannot make this up. The personal view. Again, this is for a personal few. The close-knit. The rare ones. The personal view of the Great Spirit as a thing that is ubiquitous, a sort of a light force, source of the world itself, then may be. Once again, there is no intuitional view of deity that was pervasive in so-called North America and clearly visible in their myths and sacred stories that all things were one with the Great Spirit, even as they manifested that spirit as Spider-Woman, Buffalo Woman, the Old Man, as a creator who was often a trickster with a wry sense of humor who laid out on the hills and covered them with trees and game and enemies to fight. All things had their own particular spirits, including the rocks, the hills, the trees of their belief systems. The trees, the animals, and of course the people. Were these spirits separate from and yet one with the Great Spirit? I have no idea. And given the number of pre-literate cultures involved and the evolution of their belief systems, especially after contact with Christian Europeans who completely destroyed pre-Columbian intertribal society wherever they encounter it, I doubt that anybody really knows or that any single answer is universally correct. Well, actually, when you're surfing the wave with us and you got quartz vision and you understand and understand that this is a cosmic flow within this cosmic shift. Because you see how we already discussed this Spider Woman. Now we're getting this Buffalo Woman and this old man. That is that of the Ancient of Days. Come. Well, we see that there are their own particular spirits, including rocks, which some might refer to as meteors, as comets. They're not just rocks. And when we're talking about if these spirits were separate from Hawa, the Great Spirit, well, we do have an idea. And that idea is no. For all these things are within the flow that we know as Hawa, the Great Spirit, our framer and shaper. And we shall continue. See, our substance, our intention, our design right here at this flow within this stream on this channel, our substance is to provide the divine essence, the essential part of nature, the composition of being, the material of the Creator, the Great Spirit, our framer and shaper, which ends up being the proving of our Hawa. It is the intention to charge you up by proving our Hawa. And it is within that substance that our quality, our temperament, our character, our disposition, our nature, our condition, our degree of goodness, our nobility, our royalty, our excellence. Well, it is the measure upon which this shines. For the substance is the source to our quality, and our substance is proving our Hawa. Allah Hawa. And as we prove our Amma, our Abba, well, the quality within our presentation are forever rich. And that is an everlasting flow, recognition. A recognition for a Yapa tribe filled with Yapa vibes. Allahu. And we shall continue.
If you were
They call
sexually
us sun
abused
worshippers
while at
because
school,
they don't know shit about honor. All of their respect comes from fear. Their respect has always been fear-based. That's
We're going to come right back to that. But before we go to that, I want you to surf the wave real quick on what this aqua is about to drip on us one time. Halakha. Let's get this turned up quick.
The fundamentals of physics, geometry, astronomy, energy, heat, air, water, motion, matter, space, gravity, sound are the birthing roots of alchemy. This is ancient teachings and it's coming back. Ancient alchemy wasn't about turning lead into gold, no. It was about transmuting self. Elements like fire, air, water were portals into inner cosmos. The fundamentals of physics, geometry, astronomy.
You heard what she said with the portals. Let's get it back. Let's go.
Energy, heat, air, water, motion, matter, space, gravity, sound are the birthing roots of alchemy. This is ancient teachings and it's coming back. Ancient alchemy wasn't about turning lead into gold, no. It was about transmuting self. Elements like fire, air, water were portals into inner cosmos. The fundamentals of
Or portals into inner cosmos. Portals into inner cosmos. We're going to get this back one more again for the rare ones. This is the entire frequency we've been speaking in this entire time. Let's go.
Physics, geometry, astronomy, energy, heat, air, water, motion, matter, space, gravity, sound are the birthing roots of alchemy. This is ancient teachings and it's coming back. Ancient alchemy wasn't about turning.
She said these are ancient teachings and they're coming back. And they're coming back. Let's go.
Lead into gold, no. It was about transmuting self. Elements like fire, air, water were portals into inner cosmos. The fundamental.
This is about transmuting self. And I told you I was entering a transformation during this cosmic shift. But I'm not the only one. Let's continue to start the wave. Max AR to everybody tapping in on the magic.
They call us sun worshippers because they don't know shit about honor. All of their respect comes from fear. Their respect has always been fear-based. That's the only way they can get anyone to respect anything that they do or anything that they say. Once the fear is gone, so is the respect. But when you honor something, you honor it simply because of what it is, meaning that respect, that regard will always be there forever. Same thing with ancestral veneration. They call it worship when it's just honor. We honor the sun as the sun honors us. We honor our ancestors as our ancestors honor us. That's all. They call
Khan, we were building on this vibration as magnets in our honor. And I know that can sting for some. Honesty, being honest, I know that can, for sure. But this is about growth, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just sharing the flow with the rare ones. And I know the rare ones, well, it's a charge. It's a charge to carry themselves in honor and in this flow of honesty. And that recognition, that reverence is a respect. I told you. Check the consistent presentations we've been dripping. We are in proper alignment. The blood moon got us in proper alignment. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it right now? Did you feel it? It's happening. But can you feel it?
us sun worshippers because they don't know shit about honor. All of their respect comes from fear. Their respect has always been fear-based. That's the only way they can get anyone to respect anything that they do or anything that they say. Once the fear is gone, so is the respect. But when you honor something, you honor it simply because of what it is, meaning that respect, that regard will always be there forever. Same thing with ancestral veneration. They call it worship when it's just honor. We honor the sun as the sun honors us. We honor our ancestors as our ancestors honor us. That's all.
Where is your honor, Khan? What is your reflection, your observation? Where does that rely? Where are you aligned? What are you a magnet to and for? We're going to continue to surf the wave, because just keep in mind how it is that they observed and they saw you. How was it that they saw you when they came across the shores for the first time? How was it that they observed you when they saw you from across the seas from the first time? How was it that you think that they saw you? We shall see. This is how they saw you, Shabbatai. This is how they saw the indigenous of America, of the Americas. We're talking about royalty since time immemorial. This is how they saw the indigenous of the land. This is how they observed you. This is out of the man of a hijack. You see it. You see it. Some anchored in their political view, but this is a paradigm reckoning. This is a frightful nightmare. To be aware and to be in the realization of such a natural fact, but that can be shattering. To know that the copper color comes where the prime civilization of this natural flow, this Halakha, that was an observation as a natural way of living they call religion. That can be shattering. But to us, as natural Bahawa, these are just natural facts. Because we know you see it. We know you see it. Haunting. This is what they remember seeing you when they arrived to the shores. This is what they observed when they arrived, politically speaking. historically documented. This indigenous connection to our flow is an honor, and is one of the many avenues, many streams that we use to connect to our source, our Hawa. Cause we know they see it. We know they see it. Allahu. Keeping the code, aligning with your higher self, recognition of your Hawa, your powwow, that which is embodied by nature. Well, we know we are unstoppable. For this is an everlasting flow. This is a covenant, a promise, a Hawa's Debar. For we know we are natural by Hawa. This is the future, for this is the way. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and check a little something out like we always do as we ride out Shabbat. Cause this is for the Niji Naga. This is for the Niji Nagini. This is for the Ak, the Aqua, the Khan of America, of the Americas, of that ancient flow, primordial way. This is for the code keepers. This is for the way. This is for you. Alright, so as we get ready to ride out, like I said, this was for and this is about the awakening of the Naga, man, of the ancient one. Alright? And we gonna see, as it was put together, this was a cipher, right? You can see it, LA Crips versus LA Bloods, a hip hop cipher. Alright, and we got it from, again, the Aki Spody Face. And this is from his channel. And like I said, man, the tribes, the way politics are going and airing out, everyone has a say and an opinion and a feel about the way our politics are ran. But like we got earlier, there's no determining once you're politically active how one is able to display such politics, for that is the art. But when you're aligned and when you're keeping the code, well, that awareness is an activation. And I know when I first started surfing the wave as a witness, because I'm still a student in this wata, I'm forever learning in this everlasting flow. But when I first started, it was a rarity for such material, for such so-called content. Fast forward to where we're at now, give or take 9 years later. You know what I'm saying? It's when you realize how much of this consistency, this intent with pure authenticity radiates into the realm, well, that idea begins to pop out, to pop off. The seed then breaches the soil to receive the light, and then that light is then expressed. And like I said, you can always be a real one from your section and still be a soldier, still be a chosen of the Most High. It just takes recognition. It just takes a shift. So we're going to get into this cipher that the Aki Spody Face kicked off. Y'all go ahead and support it on his channel. Again, this is Spody Face, and this is the name of the video. And we're going to, we're going to start the wave. Shalom.
Push off Fig, King of 50, and talk to him for a second. Huh? Alright. All praises to the Most High. Ain't no hood fucking with the 12 tribes. It is real. Yeah, I'm about to get biblical. You ever was a part of a war that was spiritual? Ain't fucking with the streets. All you niggas living foul. Doing hood blogs with snitches and pedophiles. So we done lost so many real niggas due to the game. I can't leave the hood. The 40s keep calling my name. The swamp, that's how I went to jail and did get killed. But now I'm facing life for the nigga capped out pill. But I still read the Bible and try to keep faith. I'm saying my prayers on time, but it's probably too late. So I'ma just bang and continue to ride. Acting like it's nothing, but it's really killing me inside. Rise kicking off shit. How to learn my lesson. Only 22 blacks and like 80 Mexicans. Just after the life I chose and the bet that I made. I never been a punk, so I'm catching all of my fades. My lawyers are truck, so I'm getting really impatient. Cause they try to stress me out over gang allegations. Not giving a fuck. I'm taking everything to the extreme. Waking up every morning hoping it's all a dream. But it's not. My life is real. I should've took the deal, but hopefully I got action and coming back on the pill. Thank blood, nigga.
And like that, like I said, you know what I'm saying? It's getting like that, man. Let's get it back real quick on that little intro he was on. It's really getting like that in the field, man. To where this is where we at. Shalom.
Most High. Ain't no hood fucking with the 12 tribes. It is real. Yeah, I'm about to get and talk to him for a second. Huh? Alright. All praises to the Most High. Ain't no hood fucking with the 12 tribes. It is real. Yeah, I'm about to get biblical. You ever was a part of a war that was spiritual? Ain't fucking with the streets. All you niggas living foul. Doing hood blogs with snitches and pedophiles. So we done lost so many real niggas due to the game. I can't leave the hood. The 40s keep calling my name. The swamp, that's how I went to jail and did get killed. But now I'm facing life for the nigga capped out pill. But I still read the Bible and try to keep faith. I'm saying my prayers on time, but it's probably too late. So I'ma just bang and continue to ride. Acting like it's nothing, but it's really killing me inside. Rise kicking off shit. How to learn my lesson. Only 22 blacks and like 80 Mexicans. Just after the life I chose and the bet that I made. I never been a punk, so I'm catching all of my fades. My lawyers are truck, so I'm getting really impatient. Cause they try to stress me out over gang allegations. Not giving a fuck. I'm taking everything to the extreme. Waking up every morning hoping it's all a dream. But it's not. My life is real. I should've took the deal, but hopefully I got action and coming back on the pill. Thank blood, nigga.
Man, like I said, the activation across the plain, the Niji Nagis is waking up. Shout out to the Aqua that kicked this cipher off, cause she was the only Aqua there. And with that being said, until the next time, Shabbat, continue this flow. Halakha, Max Tawada, Aha, to you, the rare ones. That is natural by Wa.